Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So, guys, Josh Warrington leaves Frank Warren and re-signs with Eddie Hearn. Um, I wasn't expecting this. This wasn't on the cards. I wasn't expecting Josh Warrington, who actually under Frank Warren has blossomed. But I just think it's got to a case where Josh Warrington's got to a point where he thinks that maybe Frank Warren can't deliver any more for him, and he's got to a point where he probably thinks that Matchroom and his own where it's at. They're the ones that are forking out the big money, and I think it's a big blow for Frank Warren, because I feel like Frank Warren was a leading player, back in the day. He was the man in British boxing. Then Eddie Hearn came along. He took all the fighters away from Frank Warren. Frank Warren left Sky and built Box Nation. It took him years to establish himself. He finally, in my opinion, of last 1 or 2 years, started wrestling back in the initiative. He got Tyson Fury on board, Carl Frampton, and it felt like he had young talents like Dubois, Yard, all of those guys coming through, and it looked like Frank Warren was in a great position. It looked like he had something to build on. All of a sudden, Tyson Fury signs with Top Rank. Yeah, Frank Warren's still involved with him, but really Top Rank are taking control. Carl Frampton has also signed with Top Rank. And it just seems like Frank Warren is left with not much now. He's not left with a lot. Josh Warrington's left him. I don't know has he got a world champion that he's working? Like, he's literally only got Tyson Fury, but even Tyson Fury is being promoted by Top Rank. Really, they're paying him, as Eddie Hearn mentioned it. So I think it's difficult times for Queensberry and Frank Warren, but in terms of Josh Warrington, it's probably the right move. I think Josh Warrington's in a position where he needs the big fights, and he can't afford his career to stall. I think going with Frank Warren was probably the right thing, because Frank Warren ended up getting him a world title. Frank Warren and Josh Warrington have had a great run together, where really Frank Warren's put Josh Warrington on the map, and it's really horrible the fact that now that Frank Warren's got him into that position of strength, now he's decided to go back to Matchroom. But again, for a fighter, it's important to think about themselves, not about a promoter. Fighter's got to look after himself. Fighter's got to look at the best financial deal for himself. And at the minute, it probably makes more sense, because who knows, Eddie Hearn might get Galahad, who's not a big fight for Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington looking for a unification fight. Might get Kid Galahad a shot for a world title in another direction, which doesn't involve Josh Warrington, right? So it kind of probably makes a lot of sense, because now Eddie Hearn knows that Josh Warrington's a bigger draw than Kid Galahad, and he knows Kid Galahad is a tricky fight for Josh Warrington. So Eddie Hearn may look at it from a business point of view and think, you know what? Galahad's an awkward fight for Warrington. Why not me? Why shall I not deliver Galahad a world title shot elsewhere and build Josh Warrington into a mega star? He's got the Leeds following. He's got a huge Leeds fan base. So really, Eddie Hearn has kind of now wrestled back the initiative in UK boxing, where he was always ahead of Frank Warren, but Frank Warren of recent years has started to wrestle it back, where it started becoming a bit more even. However, now it's well in favour. Like, he's lost Billy Joe, he's lost Josh Warrington again. It feels to me like Frank Warren's lost virtually most of his fighters, and he's got Daniel Dubois, who signed a long-term deal with. He's got Anthony Yard, but Anthony Yard still, he's not a world champion. Neither is Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois has definitely got a very hot future, and I think Warren's got a great fighter there. But again, his fighters are running very low and thin. So yeah, what do you guys make of it? Josh Warrington leaves Frank Warren and joins Matchroom. Leave your thoughts, and guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.